Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Hon Sylvester Ogbaga, representing Abakaliki Izi Federal Constituency. I'm from Ebonyi State. In this motion, killing along the disputed Ebonyi Cross River boundary and the urgent need to demarcate the boundary between the two states, the House notes a series of crises that had risen between communities living along the boundaries of Ebonyi and Cross River States for over 20 years now, over the ownership of the land. Recall that in 1984, a crisis between Eda community houses of Ebonyi State and the Shopon of Cross River State occurred. In 2006, it was between the Ogbaga people of Ebonyi State and Ukele Yala of Cross River State. Again in 2010, it was between the Ikwo people of Ebonyi State and the Adadama people of Cross River State, all over farm lands. Informed that on 13th January 2017, the people of Ogrude Shopon of Cross River State attacked the Ida community of Ebonyi State over a killing of a man whose body was found at the boundary and whose killer was not identified. An incident that led to the death and missing of over 50 persons, rendering thousands of people homeless and destruction of property worth millions of naira. Aware that the effect of the crisis of 2006 between the Ogbaga Ukele Yala people are still lingering and are still displaced persons from Ogbaga communities scattered in the neighboring communities as the area is being mined by military up to today. Neither the state is permitted to provide social amenity in those secluded areas, while schools, markets, churches, health facilities, etc. has been put on hold. Concerned that all the effort of Ebonyi and Cross River State government in the last 15 years to get National Boundary Commission to demarcate the boundary have not yielded any result. Worried that the failure to demarcate the boundary has led to the loss of lives, destruction of properties, distortion of cordial relationship that existed between the communities, which usually intermarry and socialize. And if the boundary adjustment is not urgently demarcated, the friction will remain, and thereby leading to increase of rancor and smeared neighborhood. Resolve to call on the National Emergency Agency, Management Agency, NEMA, to provide relief material to the people of Eda community of Ebonyi State. 2, observe a minute silence for the people that lost their life in the attack. 3, commend the quick intervention of Ebonyi State Governor, the Cantonment Commander at Nkwagu in Ebonyi State, and the Commissioner of Police of Ebonyi State on that matter. Urge the National Boundary Commission, as a matter of urgency, conclude the demarcation of the boundary between Ebonyi and Cross River States, and mandate the House Committee on Special Duties to ensure implementation and report back to the House within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Heavy heart and sense of responsibility that I have to really talk about this crisis. A few days ago, we dwelled on the issues of the leaders of agencies and negligence of duty. This attack would have been averted if the National Boundary Commission had done what they have they are supposed to do within the period so mentioned. But year in, year out, from the Sixth Assembly, there had been motion on the crisis between these two states because the boundary has lining across 4 local government areas of Ebonyi State. And knowing fully well that Ebonyi State major industry and activity go around farming, it has become a problem for people living at that riverine area where the boundary is supposed to be, that has not been demarcated by the National Boundary Commission. At every farming season and harvest season, there must be one crisis that will claim lives of people. On this particular instant of 13th January, a man's body was found at the boundary. And they claim that it was killed by the neighboring community, led to this attack. When the elders were trying to put their heads together to find solution to this situation, the Ogrude people of Cross River State swung into action and started killing, burning of houses, and destroying properties of the Ida community people of Ebonyi State. Sincerely speaking, if the boundary is not demarcated, the same story will continue as usual. I've mentioned about 5 instances where this crisis erupted as a result of farmland. And if the boundary is demarcated, wherever the corpse is laid, the accusation of who killed and who did not kill would have not risen. And I talked about the Igbago-Ukele crisis of 2006. Sincerely, the little people that are remaining in that environment are seriously suffering. They don't have access to markets, they don't have access to farmland, they don't have access to health facilities. And since 2008, that environment is being manned by the military. And neither the local government, nor the state government, or federal government has access to provision of any social amenity in the area. The school children whose parents' livelihood was on agriculture has been displaced at that environment. They became refugees in their own land. And since the only solution to this problem is for the boundary to be demarcated, we should be calling on the National Boundary Commission to do what they are supposed to do and demarcate the boundary, because that is their duty. And the two state governments had made positions. They have met severally with the National Boundary Commission and have taken positions. So I call on our members, having looked at the resolution so prayed for, that the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, should be called to provide relief material to the community affected, and then call seriously on the Boundary Commission to, as a matter of urgency, conclude the demarcation. I appeal to my dear colleagues to see with me the pain of the loss of the lives of innocent citizens, which should have been averted, and support this motion so that we can have peace at that part of this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Deputy Manager, the ayes have it.